You hungry? Well, I'm hungry. You like baseball? Well, I love that shit. Want a slice of pizza? Go to New York. You want hot weather? Come to LA. You want to break bread? Call Nick Turturro. Ready, motherfucker? Are you ready? Well, I'm fucking ready. Get ready! How far did you come from, buddy?
Westlake Village.
Westlake?
Yeah, it's not so far.
That's where you live, right?
Yeah. Not really super...
Not too far, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You been busy lately?
Yeah, I've been trying to fill in. I got, they let me go by the World Professional Fighters League. So I'm looking around now, taking my time, see what I like to do, and then hopefully make the right decisions.
So what is that? Is that a new thing?
The professional fighters?
Yeah.
Oh no, that was that's been there for a long time. Ray Seifu started it in 2013. It was called the World Series of Fighting.
Right.
And they became, like 2 years ago, they became the Professional Fighters League. And they do this tournament system. So you begin as a fighter, 5 different weight classes, and a woman's weight class now with Kayla Harrison, the 2-time gold medalist, Olympic judo winner. And if you win the entire season and you're at the final end, I believe the main prize is $1 million, and I think for the guy second, I think it's $250K. So for a guy, coming off the street, pretty much, and this is a moment for you can be a millionaire. And for last year they did it. They crowned 5 new guys millionaires at the Professional Fighters League. So the concept, I like the concept. It's good. Some great fighters as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So some guys can be discovered. We can share whatever you want.
We'll
whatever
share.
You like,
Look at this, and I'm pretty sure it came from the best Italian.
Well, it's a pretty good place,
We should send this
Bay
to
Cities,
Kevin.
Right?
He'll
We'll send
this.
it to Kevin. How's Kevin doing? All right.
Kevin is doing great.
We get some ice too, buddy. A little ice for me. Yeah, Kevin's doing good.
Yeah.
He's been doing a lot of stand-up. I see he's making like these dance videos.
I went with him. We went from the East Coast to the West Coast and back. 8,500 miles we did, like in 14 or 12 days.
Really?
Yeah, state to state. It was fun. I had a lot of... It's cool.
You toured with him, like with his shows?
Yeah, just to, to go along with him and to see how he works on that stand-up, how that works, how it comes to life. And it's cool, man, because that's how you figure out, right? What is working, what is not working.
Right.
Well, fortunately for him, pretty much everything was working. So they didn't need to change a lot. But then you see every show, that gets a little better, then this gets a little better. It's a cool system,
right.
Man. It's a creative mind. Always with the stand-up comedians, I'm super impressed with them.
How long is his setup?
I think so. Well, this was pretty long, so he's going to have to edit it. I think to like an hour. That's what they want, right?
Right.
I think it was between 1:20 and 1:10. So he has a lot of room.
Right.
Still, but that's a good thing. It's better to have too much than too little. You're going to have to create new. So now he's going to have to take out the least amount of responses. That's what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Or that didn't work as well. Well, let's take that one out then. I'll just keep the other one.
Were they big crowds? Were they...
Yeah, sold out. Everything was sold out.
Yeah, because Kevin's a huge star.
Yeah. Yep.
Guys, they stand-ups, they always go back to doing stand-up because even though they did television, movies, they go back to...
right? I think everybody goes back to what they do. Salud, brother.
Salud, Bas. You
Yes,
get Bas
sir.
drinking water, but it's all right.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right, Bas Rutten in the house,
Ow.
legend. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Look who's here, the man.
Yeah.
Talking
Even
about-
me, the gym is coming back, so the gym is doing really well. Now I start spending more time at the gym. You see how it goes, so you do things here and there.
Yeah.
But then that pulls you right back because that's your love. Your
Right.
love in the first place was
Right.
fighting.
That's right. So that's always at the core of it. Fighting is still your love, no matter whether you're teaching or...
That's it. I love teaching. I love, and it's really cool to see because, like, for instance, I went to Holland. My oldest daughter lives there. She got married this July 5th. So we were there for 3 weeks, and I come back, and I got 6 people in the class, the first class. But then here I'm fine back, and the next is 20. And then the next class is 28 again. You see, then it's completely packed.
Right.
So it's cool to know that you're doing something right. If you know I'm back, it's like the classes are freaking packed.
Yeah, unbelievable. That's where you're from, Holland, right?
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's where you grew up.
22 years ago, I moved here, 97.
Wow. So how did the fighting start? How did you... Were you like an athletic kid? I mean, it started over there. I mean, how did it? Were you
It started over there. I was an athletic kid. Came out of an athletic family, all track and field and gymnastics. And then, but I had severe asthma, and I had a horrible skin disease over my hands. I had to wear gloves and long sleeves, every night. Well, months in a row, my mother would mummify me, is what I would call. She would actually literally ask the family to send in old bed sheets. They would rip them up in bandages, and then every night I would get all the creams, the cortisones on, and in the middle of the night I would rip it off from the itching.
Really?
And then would do it again, have it in my face everywhere. So needless to say, I got bullied a lot. I was the leper. That's what they called me.
The leper?
The leper, yeah. Because, hey, watch out, your fingers don't fall off, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah?
So now it's funny, but at the time, when you're a kid, it's like, whoa. That,
Were you a big
really
kid?
got me.
Were you a big kid?
No, because I was very skinny because of the asthma also. So at normal,
So you had the asthma, and then you had the skin disease?
the skin disease. And I was taking inhalers all day long, and they weren't bad inhalers. At the time, it was a capsule that you had to puncture, and it was on a little propeller, so to say, and you have to breathe in, and it starts spinning. Dude, if you have asthma, you can't breathe in, right? How am I going to move that stupid thing? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Now it's all easy, it's gas.
Right.
So that was hard, and it took a lot of pills. And then every 6 weeks or so, I had another asthma attack. And the attack would be 7-8 days in bed, not able to eat because I couldn't breathe. People go, oh, my asthma is killing me. I was
You had bad
24/7,
Right.
7-8 days straight, not able to go to the restroom. And then for me also, I had a flight of stairs to go down. Now going down, you take 2 steps, you sit, you rest because you can't breathe. And then you do that over and over again until you're down, and you do your business, and you have to go back up, try to go back up again. So I think that there's where my, when I say something to myself, I'm going to do 100%. And that's been very fortunate with me in training, for instance. Even when I feel bad, if I decided the day before I'm going to do 12 rounds of the bag as hard as I can be sick the next day, I have to do it. There's something in me I developed that I have to always live up to my own word, because to me, I'm the most important person in the planet. They'll say, no, it is him, and I'm talking about the people, not about God, of course. But the most important person on the planet is you. That's what I always tell fighters. They go, who do you fight for? For my family. I say, don't do that. And they go, why? I say, you put too much pressure on you. Fight for you. Geez, you fight for yourself. Yeah, that sounds like you're an egomaniac, but it's not. Because if you fight for yourself and you don't think about what other people are going to think about you and what you need to win, because otherwise my family has less money, if you put all that stress on you, just fight the best fight that you can do, to leave everything out there. If you lose, okay, you lost, but at least you left everything out there. But if you have a mindset like that going in, you don't have that pressure.
Right.
And it helps you a lot. So let the people go. Don't go
focus on yourself.
That's
because
it.
Ultimately, when you put all this other stress about, I got to succeed for my family, I got to succeed for money, then that stuff sometimes eats you alive. You're saying
it does.
That when you just do it for you, you're in a way better place, right?
It's what I said also to say to my students when they're nervous. The first thing I say, okay, let's break this down. Imagine your opponent. You're going to fight him next week. Yeah, imagine he walks into our gym right now. And he says, hey, let's do it now. And you guys go into a room, we lock the room, there's no windows in the room, you have to lock the room, and winning or losing, nobody can say who won or lost. If you open the door, they come out. Would you care if you would lose? And 95% go, no. I said, that means that you're not fighting for yourself. That means that you're fighting to please all the other people. Because then you care. Because if nobody says something, you don't care, you say.
Right.
You see what I mean?
So what do you think the mindset of a fighter is? You think a lot of fighters have that mindset?
No, I don't think so.
Don't.
I look the guys who go crazy and that. Well, they're not thinking, And yes, they can be very effective, but eventually, I always say aggression and uncontrolled. You always lose to the guy with the technique and who's in control. 9 out of 10 times. Sure, they might get lucky and they'll land a punch one time, but that's it.
But the guy that's the most relaxed,
that's the trick,
and has the most talent, should win.
Should win. Yeah,
right.
Because, he can think about what he is doing. There's not a lot of thinking going on. Thankfully, it's way more now than it was in the early days. And now everybody, thankfully, is also in shape. Because, man, it drove me nuts. I mean, there were guys who ran out of gas, heavyweights, 10 years ago in the second round. They were completely shot. I go, that's your job. Go run a freaking hill. Do something. It's like showing up to you're a painter. You have a half a can of paint. A can of paint. Yeah, it's half. I just brought half. Yeah. That makes no sense. You're not going to have a job. And that's with fighting as well.
But how about guys that say train, Bas, and they train and they work hard, but they don't have great cardio for whatever reason? Like maybe like you had asthma and stuff. How was your cardio? Did you have a problem because of the asthma? how did you overcome that?
Yeah, no, what I did, and it's a really weird thing I'm going to say, I'm really good in talking to myself. That's why, people go, are you nervous? I say, no. I will be nervous if I walk in, but I can talk to myself in such a way that you take all the nerves away. And it's just telling yourself the truth. That's it. I mean, what's the worst thing that can happen? That's your opponent completely schooling you.
Right.
Well, with good matchmaking, that's never going to happen. You're going to get knocked out? Well, apparently you're not going to feel it. You're going to get a submission. If you're smart, you tap. You fight next month, 2 months later, you fight again.
Right.
Is that really the worst thing that can happen? No. So if you break it down like that, there's not a lot of pressure. All these guys who are screaming, oh, you should have done it. Are you fighting? No. Why not? If it's so easy, why don't you fight? You see? Now, once your peers start telling you, oh, that guy sucks, that's a different story. I wouldn't want to have that. But normally, I only listen to my colleagues, so to say.
Right.
I don't care what other people think. It is not like, with acting, right? Oh, this is easy. This guy just, yes, in the mirror, it's very easy to do by yourself. And now put 3 cameras in your face, and now it's a big movie, and now every shot you miss is $25,000.
Right.
That's a lot of pressure. And now do the same line. And go. I remember my very first acting job. I'm literally, I was a bank robber. They put a wig on me and shades, and I started to sweat, and it was the last shot of the day. Was this whole freaking thing start stacking up, and I remember going up, and I could dream my lines, and the first thing I said. What's my line? I forgot, completely blanked.
You just said, what's my line?
What's my line? I said, I have no clue what the line is anymore. So there was too much pressure. There was too much pressure. But like in fighting as well, you get used to that stuff, right? In Holland, I always explain it with driving a car. In Holland, you have to pass with a stick shift.
Right.
You have to. No, the first time you drive a shift stick, you go like, what the heck is going on,
Where's the clutch?
Yeah, now they're in Holland, they're rolling a joint, they're drinking a coffee, they're doing everything. They're on the interview, they're on the phone and whatnot. You do everything because you get used to it. And it's like fighting the same thing.
Right.
You just do it over and over again, becomes normal. And then the trick is to still have that little bit of fear. I think that if you disregard that, you're not 100% kid. It's all about how you deal with the fear. Yeah.
Because the fear gives you an edge to as long as you can control it.
Yep.
But that little fear sometimes is a great motivation to keep you honest, right? And say that, I'm not going to go in here cocky and think I can do it. But that fear, sometimes it can overtake you, but the key is not to let it,
control you.
Control you, right? Because you have to relax, right?
That's the thing. And then you have the different, the body types, right? You got the explosive guy, the fast twitch fibers, versus the guy who's like the diesel, the slow twitch fibers.
Right.
Yeah, the explosive guy, that's the knockout guy.
Right.
And sometimes you have the diesels also a few, but it's a volume. For instance, like the Diaz brothers. They can't knock you out with one punch. Yeah, if it's a straight punch, of course, it will happen if it's at the right time. But I'm saying is, volume is the thing with them. Volume, and coming. Cardio machines, and they just keep on going. Those are the diesels. Those guys are, for explosive guys like me, very hard to fight if they would know that. And they know.
Right.
So if you find an explosive guy, you're just going to have to put the pressure on this guy for a minute and a half, or for a round and a half.
Right.
And the guys, you're going to put him out of stamina because all these muscles, if you fight to them, he has to defend himself. They all need oxygen. And such an explosiveness that takes a lot of oxygen, you run them out of gas, and then they start taking over. And you've seen that with every fight. You see it with McGregor, with everything. Once they break them down and getting tired, they start taking the overhand.
Diaz and McGregor is a tough matchup because McGregor could school him for 2 rounds, but then once he gasses, then he could just put volume on him, like you said.
Exactly.
And it's not like it's great strategy, but that's what he's good for, and pretty much in the fight.
Yeah, he needs a little bit more control, McGregor, because he's so good, so accurate, so everything. But sometimes if you land every punch, don't try to put him out there right away. You really have to step back once in a while, shake the muscles, take a breathe again, because he's the fast twitch fiber guy, And you're going to have to dose. You have to make sure that you put it out there in little bursts.
Right.
And take breathers in between.
It's like you were saying too, Bas. You were saying like something with if you let fear take over in the fight, like that could affect you. Like even too with Conor's last fight, he said he had the fear of getting taken down the whole fight, that he had to be defensive. And with that, like he didn't think of his stand-up anything too serious, and he was just looking to defend takedowns the whole fight.
That's why he got a hit.
Yeah.
Jermaine the Rondami, undefeated in kickboxing, 42-0 or whatever it is. She's a freaking machine. First Thai boxing match, mixed martial arts match, she got knocked out. You go, how's that possible? Because they fake a takedown on a striker, they bring their hands down, and then they come over the top. You can never. That's the thing. If I'm finding a really good wrestler, I'm not gonna kick. I'm gonna try to just burst and really pick my shots, because otherwise, well, if you start playing their game, if you go for the knockout, you're gonna have to plant your feet. Once you plant your feet, now you're stationary. And against the wrestler, that's not a good thing.
Right.
They'll take your butt down immediately.
So McGregor, I mean, he's a fascinating guy. As talented as he is, it didn't seem like he had the right mindset. He was somewhat in between in that fight. What do you think? How could he beat him? I mean, it's possible. You could lose a lot of different ways, but
Yeah, he needs loads of stamina. I think a second fight will be good, actually, for him as well. He needs to only focus on stamina. And if you look at his losses are all by submission.
Right.
So brush up on the submission game even more. It's just a thing that you have to do. Stamina, there's no such thing as having enough stamina. I found that out. And as an asthma patient, I was always afraid to getting tired. Oh, this is good that you said it, because now I'm coming back to that question. How did you get your stamina? That was a real thing. Like I said, I always talk to myself. I trained myself to love getting tired. I hated it.
you did.
And then I thought, you know what? As long as I keep hating this, I'm not loving it. And if you don't love something, you're not going to do it a lot.
Right.
I'm going to have to force myself to love it. And I found a way that every time when I was getting really tired, I said, oh, give me more. I'm going to get more tired. And I would over and over, I was doing that. And suddenly I started getting that. Now I was almost like I was addicted to getting tired. It was the runner's high. My teeth would start glowing I would go train so hard. Now it was a problem because now I had to step back a little bit. That's why I do everything in increments. For instance, if I start for a half an hour fight, there's times that I have my normal workout and then I go on a heavy back. I have combinations. I come up with 8 combinations that I do. I do like 3 punches, and the second one right after that's 4 punches. And that same thing, 3 punches and 4 punches, 3 punches and 4. I do for 1 minute, but as hard as I can. Then 1 minute break.
Wow.
And then 1 minute full on again, And I keep drilling those in. Suddenly you can do all 15 rounds full power. People go like 1 minute. I can do a drill with you 1 minute. You can be in shape, whatever you want to be. You're going to be in trouble, trust me, because I have really great ways to get really freaking tired. I'm talking about everything is to kill. That's what I'm doing. So then I'm used to the 15 rounds. But since I'm so explosive and I want to keep on going, I can, because I'm going to overtrain myself. So then the next week I go to 1 minute and 5 seconds. I increase my work time with 5 seconds. But I take away 5 seconds from my resting time. So it's 55 seconds break. And then a week later, if I can do all 15 rounds again, I go to 1 minute and 10, 50 seconds break. 1 minute 15, 45 seconds break. And all the way, if you come 10 weeks out for a fight, you're ending up at 1.5 minutes full power with 30 seconds break, a half an hour straight. And just think about how many times you see a fighter, whether it is kickboxing, boxing, mixed martial arts, doesn't really matter. He starts unloading on his opponent for about 20 seconds, right? As hard as they can. And he can't put him away. Suddenly he's run out of gas, right?
Right.
That's 20 seconds.
Right.
I'm doing it now 1.5 minutes with 30 seconds break. I train my body to burst incredible amounts of energy out and then take a break and burst. But little tiny increments, because otherwise you overtrain.
That makes sense. I mean, you find out what works for you, right?
That's the whole thing. It's all about what works for you. And like I said, find a way to love something. Because the only way to get good at something is to love it. Like, I hated submissions. I don't know why. Had no clue. After my last loss against Ken Shamrock, I realized, okay, it's either I'm going to learn this game, or I might get lucky one time and become a champion. But, I don't think if you're a champion, you never defended your title. Everybody can do that one time, right? Can land a lucky punch. It's about defending your title. That's what makes you the real champion. That's what I always say. So I figured out that I'm going to have to learn that game. And then I started training 2-3 times a day with my buddy Leon from Holland, focusing only on submissions. We had no trainers. We just trained ourselves and watching tapes and watching fights and watching things. And then suddenly I got the bug. I just fell in love with it. I became obsessed with it. My poor wife, I tell this in every interview, at least 6-7 times I woke her up in the middle of the night because I would dream a submission. I would put her in that submission. I would tell her it hurts in the shoulder, right? Or it's your knee, right? Or it's this, right? Or it's this, right? She says, yeah. I would write it down, and the next day I would trying it in training. She walks around to the kitchen. I say, lean over, honey. She knows how time it is. I say, okay, is this hurting your throat, or are you getting lightheaded? Getting lightheaded. See, it's a blood choke. It's a blood choke. It's not a crunch. And constantly, Post-its, my house, my wife, with combinations and setups to that combination and the way to get out and constantly flipping around back and forth. The whole house was filled with little Post-its and combinations. But because I fell in love with it, right. I wanted to do it every day.
Every day.
I never lost a fight anymore, Nick. I won my next 8 fights by submission, and then my last 22 I never lost.
Wow.
So, and I'm always telling people, I said, if I can do it, you can do it. Listen, I'm just a guy,
Right.
Yeah, so I might have a little talent, but I know guys with way more talent than me, And let's talk about that, because they say, oh yeah, but this guy
Right.
doesn't have as much talent and he has to train harder. Those guys are way harder to beat than the guy who has it very easy coming. Because those guys had to work really hard for it, and because he had to work really hard for it, he's not going to give it away.
Right.
You're going to have to. There's a lot of these fighters that fighters nowadays, they probably will never become a world champion. But every fighter, if you're a world champion and you have to face that certain guy, they're going to go, oh shit, we're going to be in for a fight.
It's going to be a long night.
Yeah, this guy is going to come at me, because they don't want to give it up. So there's always pluses and minuses, and the guys with the most talent, most of the time you see them lose by submission, stamina. Because in class, in their gym, they work circles around everybody. Nobody presses them back, because they're the rulers there.
Right.
And that's a problem. Because then if you suddenly face an opponent who doesn't care about you punching him, because what do you do against a great striker? What is the best thing to not get hit hard? It's pushing. Like if I'm fighting freaking Triple G, right? I will be constantly walk. I'm going to need loads of stamina, because if I give that guy space, I'm going to get knocked out.
Right.
But if I'm pressing the whole time, moving backwards and punching with power and using body weight is a very hard thing to do. Sure, an arm punch can knock you out. But if you want to make every punch a super hard punch, feet need to be connected on the ground.
That's why he lost to Canelo the last time. I mean, it was an arguable decision.
Arguably, it was close.
But the story of the fight was he got backed up and he wasn't the same.
You see, so in class, you see that. In training, you see this all the time. I have a really good guy in my gym, Billy, like an unbelievable fighter. Just started. Is already at age now. I think he's like 31, but boy, he's a heavyweight. He's fast as a 170 guy. It's amazing. Works circles around everybody in the gym.
He's 31?
31 years old. But I couldn't train him a lot because I was on the road a lot. And it was stupid of me that I even didn't think about that. I should have known this, because if he's pushing everybody backwards in gym, and now suddenly you face a guy who's coming forward, they'll think your whole game plan is gone. Because everything doesn't work anymore. You've never been in that position because you've never been pushed backwards.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened. And he lost the fight. He lost by decision. But still for him, and I told him, I said, that is the best whatever could have happened for you. Because right now you can already see that you need more stamina.
Right.
If you would have won, you wouldn't have focused on that, because you would have thought, oh, it's okay, because it's not okay, right? And now you know how to deal with a fighter who's pushing you back first. This fight, actually, for your very first loss, is the best thing that could ever happen to you. And then 2 weeks later, he knocked his opponent out in 43 seconds. He's big, and now, now he's on the tear. You watch this guy; he's gonna go far.
He's got potential, huh?
Dude, he's got so much power in his hands. It's like it's just scared of him. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's his name? Billy what?
Billy.
Billy. That's what you call him.
Yeah.
Billy.
It's only, but our gyms, we have 350 people now. So I have everybody first name basis.
Can you tell, when a guy has potential, can you tell, like, when a guy has, you think, well, this guy could actually do something? You have a good eye? I mean...
Yeah, I pretty much have it all the time. When they walk in, I can see.
You
know what my claim to fame, and I love to tell this story, McGregor was fighting Holloway, first fight in the UFC. And it was Holloway's first fight in the UFC. And Holloway was 19 years old, maybe just turned 19, it's a puppy. And he lost the fight. And we were talking about on Inside MMA, the show we had on TV. And they asked about McGregor. I said, wow, he's got crazy accuracy, he's very good, blah, blah, blah. I tell the whole thing about McGregor. What about Holloway? I say, I think he's going to be the next world champion. But Bas, he lost. I say, yeah, but for a kid 19 years old to move like that and to have the distance that he has is a very hard thing to master. Distance, real distance, like the real good boxers. That's a hard thing. I think he's going to be the next champion. And he became the next champion. You see, you can pick it out. Distance, footwork, that's a good one. Taking a breather here and there. The guy who steps out of the fight, shakes his arms, goes back into it. That's all being in control. If I see that, he's no panicking, no nothing. Just take a little time, do it out of shooting range. He doesn't do it here.
Right.
Like freaking Vanderlei Silva Pride Fighting Championships. It was the student of the judo gold medalist. I think it's Nakamura. I could be wrong with it. He was fighting him, and he was wearing a gi. And the gi started very frustrating because it could be used against him. So freaking a guy like Vanderlei, he pulls it over your head. He starts kneeing you. So the guy figured, I have to get rid of my gi. But he does it at this range.
At this range?
He takes his belt off,
Right.
he puts it over his shoulder, and Vanderlei knocks him out.
Wow.
I go, yeah, you see, Just run to the other side of the ring, throw that up, that shows pose, that shows you're in control, take the thing up, and then you walk back to the fight. Don't do it right in front of the fighter.
Exactly.
I mean, there's no rule that you can't hit him in the face if somebody takes off a jacket, right? In MMA. I'm pretty sure it's not in the rules book.
Right.
So he should have known that.
What was the weight you fought at? You were like, what'd you fight, 220 or something? Or?
I always fought a heavyweight, but I was always a light heavy, so to say. I'm 203.
203.
203. I'm 208 now. I've been my whole career. I started at 200 pounds, I think, and then this is it. I've been always the same weight. It was so weird because I went to Colorado to
you were
train.
a skinny kid, but you know you.
Yeah, skinny kid.
But you grew.
Once my asthma left me at 17, I stopped packing on muscle immediately.
Oh, you stopped putting muscle.
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
What, you
As soon as the
like
disease-
6'2"? You're about 6'2"?
6'1" and a half.
6'1" and a half. Yeah.
What were we talking about before? What did I say? With
You were talking about Holloway or when?
no, Holloway and McGregor, but after that we were talking about
Silva.
Oh,
yeah,
Vanderlei Silva. Yeah.
Vanderlei Silva.
No, he's just an animal. But that was with when he puts his hands down. Yeah, you
Right.
don't want to do that.
You
want
don't
to be
want
in
to do
control.
that.
No.
Yeah. No, but you were a natural, like 200 pound, 205.
Oh, what I want to say, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
At the weigh-in when I fought for the title against Kevin Randleman, I was 197 pounds. And I had to be over 200 because at that time heavyweight was 200 and above.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, well, you can fight, but it's not going to be for a title. You need to be over 200 pounds. And I was standing with my clothes.
Right.
I give me one moment because my buddies were drinking water. So I stole all the waters, I drank it,
Drank the
get back
water.
on the stage. I was 203, and now it was a title fight.
Wow.
You see, so yeah, I always fought that way. Nowadays, I would fight probably 205. If I would have to fight, which I don't because of all the injuries I had and surgeries. But I would fight at 205. I'm not going to fight a freaking monster 265 who cuts down to 265, who's a black belt, has
Oh my
stamina.
God.
That's a freaking
That's
nightmare.
crazy,
yeah,
right?
because then 60 pounds difference. Weight does make difference, man. Come on now.
It does, right?
Yeah, at that I mean, that leap is way too big, 205 heavyweight. From 205 to 265. But these are guys that are cutting down from 280. Who you go to fight day, you're going to fight them at 280 again. And if you're 210 or 215 pounds, yeah, that's a problem. That's a 70-pound weight difference with a guy with technique and stamina nowadays.
That's a super heavy. I
That's
mean,
it.
to
That's
me,
pretty impressive for Daniel Cormier then to do that though.
He's
right?
unbelievable.
That's insane, and
Oh, yeah.
and he has serious power at heavyweight
Yeah.
that he didn't have in his hands at 205, which is I don't want to say he didn't have it, but it wasn't as apparent.
Yeah.
he can hit hard, huh?
Dude,
I mean,
yeah.
I
No,
mean,
he's
some nice
just a-
punches are. You're born with that. Do you believe that? That like you
yeah,
can be a big,
100%.
strong guy, but you're not a great puncher for whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. There's something to that. I feel like.
No, it is. You're 100% right. But you know, you can always improve. I tell people.
You could,
you know.
right?
But you know, yeah, you either have knockout power or you don't. And if you see a guy with knockout power and you try to change his technique, you might take it away. You have to watch out for these kind of things.
Right.
You know, because it's a certain way. Like I like to stand a certain stance, a very square stance, wide open, like Mike Tyson would fight.
Right.
You know, Robin Deckers, they would like open stance because now my left is not a jab anymore because I can twist my upper body. It's a straight punch. I can start with left hooks. My left kicks are going to be insane hard. I can block low kicks way easier. Everything becomes stronger on my left side. The only thing I'm going to give up is that I'm a wider target. But since you're doing that every day, you automatically become better at defending this with your elbows. Did Mike Tyson ever go down to the body? No. Robin Decker didn't. Chuck Liddell, fat's pretty square. He never went down to the body. Why not? Because every boxing coach, you're open target. Well, they never went down. Why is that? Because if it's so possible. But they can knock you out left and right. You know, the pluses you have are like 15 of them, and the only minuses is well, you're a wider target, but that's it. That stance will help you with everything.
Bas, question: How would you feel if Cormier gets past Stipe again? If Jones and him fought at heavyweight, is that a tougher fight for Jones or for DC again?
Oh, that's such a hard question. Jones, you know, he's such an animal.
Yeah.
He looks so perfect. He makes little mistakes, you know, like with the Vitor Belfort when he got caught with the armbar. I literally called that before the fight, that he had to watch out for that because Vitor's got incredible fast hips on the ground. But then after that, nobody can even close anymore. He learns from his mistakes really freaking fast. And everything he does is different. There's almost no repetitive. There's no patterns. Very hard to discover patterns in his fighting game. You know, he's got more tools than DC has. He does, you know. But then DC has that determination and the freaking willpower and the heart and to, you know, Jones has never been put really in danger, like striking-wise, that he's completely off his feet and dizzy. I would like to see what happens then. Like Cormier, he can be falling on the ground. He'll get back up. We know that 100%. Now, I'm pretty sure that Jones will do that as well. But we never know because he's never been in that situation. We're going to have to see that first. And so that's why I think it's always a hard matchup for DC against Jones. The only way for DC is he needs an incredible amount of stamina, which will give him at heavyweight more, I think, because he can just eat whatever he wants and he's going to be stronger. And then he needs to push that fight, like I said. He needs to be on him. Just like when they fought the first time, I think the first 2 rounds were for DC, right? But it was because he was coming forward the whole time. Cain Velasquez, that's his fighting style as well. You're a really good striker, but if you push, you take all the power out of the striking. You know, they're very hard guys to fight. They're on you like white on rice, right?
So when did you become a pro? How old were you?
Late. 28.
28 years old. So you were fighting in Holland?
I was a Thai boxer in Holland.
Thai boxer for how many years?
I did it like 4 years, and I made a comeback one time after 3 years of partying and being crazy. A comeback that I even didn't know that I said yes to because I was drunk when I said yes to the fight. and when the promoter called me to where to send the posters, I said, "What poster for the fight?" I said, "Who's fighting?" "You." I said, "Who am I fighting?" Frank Lotman. Frank Lotman, the animal? That was his nickname. He just came out of prison. It was like 43-0 with like 39 knockouts. The animal, right? So I said, okay, so, well, when did I say that? He goes, with New Year's. I said, New Year's, yeah. I said, oh, yeah, I remember talking to the guy. Well, you know, I'm a man of my word.
Right.
If I said yes, okay, I'll do it. When is the fight? I go, 2.5 weeks. And I go,
oh, shit.
Okay, well, they put me on the poster. I'm going to have to do it. Mm-hmm. And that was not a fun fight for me. You know,
it wasn't a fun fight.
No, it wasn't a fun fight. The whole bunch happened. I didn't get knocked out. They thought it was hit, but you can see the video. It's not. It was just my leg didn't work anymore. I had this big hole in my shin from a stupid trick that I did, jumping on a wall, and then I slipped off, and my shin bone fell and it ripped my whole skin on my shin, so it was all stitched up. I had to cover it with makeup, otherwise they wouldn't let me fight. But my leg was hurting, and I was afraid in the back of your head, you go, like, what if I kick with it, it opens up, you know, maybe, is this going to affect me? So I said, hey, just put some lidocaine shots around it so I don't feel the thing, and I'm going. And the guy says to me, who runs the PDE clubs, PDK, cycling club, PDF, whatever it is, in Holland. And he said, no, you know what, I'll put it in your butt here, on the butt cheek, and that will numb the whole leg a little bit more for you. And if you look me in the fight, I'm always standing still when I fight. That fight, I'm constantly shaking my leg, and what's going on. I had no control over my leg. I think he came very close to a nerve or something that numbed it, and I was very weird. My leg didn't feel like my leg. And there was a lot of focus on that. And when I fell, I simply couldn't get up. And I look at my trainer, I said, listen, my leg, it's not working for me. So I had to stop that fight. Didn't really look good for me. Listen, eventually I was going to lose this fight anyway. I'm not saying I was going to win because this guy was, like his nickname,
is an animal.
Is an animal.
Right.
So I was going to lose for sure. But you know, that's when everybody spit me out. Suddenly all the knockouts that I had before, I won only by knockout. They forgot about everything. Suddenly I was the worst fighter on the planet. And
after that loss.
After that one loss.
What was your record before that? What were you like?
I think 14.
14 and
0.
Yeah.
No, 12 and 0 at that time.
So then, what were they trying to say? That you were overrated, or what?
Yeah, that's how people are.
This was in Holland.
That was in Holland.
Yeah.
So that's when I promised myself never to fight for the Dutch people anymore, because if they were like that, you know,
right.
How can you win? But I wanted to do something, and then I had my Taekwondo teacher, karate teacher. We started doing these martial arts shows.
Right.
Like choreographed martial arts shows in a nightclub. At midnight, closed down. Mm-hmm. Suddenly, the floor gets open, and we come in our freaking spandex and pumped up muscles, and we start doing these high-pitched with nunchucks, with breaking tests, boards kicking cigarettes out of the mouth, spinning back kicks, big backflips and somersaults and all that kind of stuff. Long sticks, short sticks. I mean, a cool show.
Right.
On music, right? You know, fight.
Yeah. With music?
With music. And that suddenly, we start doing that at events, like Thai boxing events in the break.
Right.
And suddenly, TV came. And then we started traveling. European TV came, Dutch TV. And you can find those clips on YouTube.
Really?
We just mess around with martial arts. We start making comedy martial arts. And it became very funny. But on one of those shows, Chris Dolman, who is like the godfather of mixed martial arts in Holland, he saw me come up with backflips and somersaults. And he remembered me from Thai boxing, so he stopped me after the show. He said, dude, that was crazy. Did you ever think about free fighting? I go, what do you mean? He says, free fighting. They do that in Japan. That's what they called mixed martial arts at the time.
Right.
Would you like to try? So he explained to me all the rules.
Was that basically like the UFC?
That was it, yeah.
That was it?
That was MMA.
Free
It was in
fighting.
'93. It was before the UFC, September '93. You know, the first UFC show was November.
Did you fight a guy named Bob Sapp?
No, I trained him
Oh, okay.
one time. Yeah.
We were in a movie together.
But yeah, Bob was a fun guy.
Funny guy.
Good guy.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but that was it. You know, I started training there, here and there. But
So the free fighting came about, and then what? Did that make you? That's when you became a star, kind of.
yeah, he just
Yeah.
asked me one day. He called me, and it was a new organization, Pancras. There was the organization I fought for in Japan. They were scouting, and he asked me to come. And I went over there, and I got in a scuffle with one of his champions from a different organization, from the organization Rings. And the guy, because he wanted to film our technique. And the guy started going really hard. So I told him, I said, dude, we don't have to go hard. They just want to show technique.
Right.
Yeah, relax. And then he turned it up. So I stopped him again. I said, we don't need to do it. But if you want to,
We can.
yeah, it's going to not be one-way traffic,
Right,
you know? But
right.
we don't need to do this. Now, of course, it was on. Not long, because
was this
my
guy?
right hiking landed.
So who was this guy?
Yeah, I don't say his name.
You don't
but
wanna
he
say
went-
his name. All
So he
right.
went down.
That's cool.
His eye was all the way open, needed stitches, and that's where I saw Funaki Suzuki. They were pointing at me to go like, "We want him," and that was it. I think 6 weeks later, I was in Japan fighting.
Wow.
Yeah,
So then you were kind of off to the races, right?
that was it, man. What an experience for a kid who's never been on a plane, and then
God.
suddenly you go to Japan, 13-hour plane trip, plane ride, whatever you want to call it.
Wow.
Yeah, that was crazy. Coming in Japan and seeing, well, it's like you're in America. I mean, Playboy signs.
Sure. It's a candy store, right?
Subway.
Were you married then?
Kentucky Fried Chicken. Yeah. No, not married, but a girlfriend.
Oh.
But like, I mean, everywhere.
How old were you?
28. That was
28.
late. Yeah.
28, yeah. Wow. Well, that's when a man starts living sometimes. 28, 30 years old.
Yeah. For me,
Start
it was
figuring
perfect.
things out.
Yeah,
You know
because
what I mean?
I was a little calmer in the head. It was still crazy, but not
Right.
as when I
Did
was.
you get into
28.
street fights as a kid? Or not really? You weren't like
Yeah,
a...
no, yeah, because they.
But you said you got bullied, right?
I got bullied. So when I started training, finally, an adult took me under his wing, and I started doing taekwondo with him. And so I was training with the adults, and I was 14, and I started dropping these guys within 2.5
But
months.
you had like manpower?
I was just technical. It worked for me. What I see, I can do. You know, and I felt just easy. It came good for me.
It was like you were boxing. He don't want to be a fighter, but he was a good boxer. Just has good, hand-eye coordination.
Yeah.
And he kicked my ass. I almost knocked him out one time.
I like my coach taught me good defense.
Really
so
good defense.
I like
Kinda like
I know how
Mayweather
to
type?
like see
Yeah.
like
He could see
the
it.
certain things that I need to do, but like once the execution part comes in and they're a little more skilled, it's tougher. But like someone like him, like he doesn't know, so
Yeah.
it's not that hard.
Yeah.
So-
Look at that, how he talks about you.
I know.
Well,
You're
because
like
he
that.
comes straight forward
Yeah.
and he doesn't understand like when
kinda
he's just
square.
throwing his jab.
Yeah.
That's he's throwing it with no purpose.
Yeah.
So I see that, and once he throws it maybe like 2-3 times, I'll just slip one and then shoot a quick right.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
tell
it's-
Boss about the shot I caught you when you were young.
So
You got a little... well, that's before he got good.
that was I like only
I'm
like
still his father,
I only
you know what I
sparred
mean?
like twice prior to that, and I was like 100 pounds. He's like 180, and I didn't know any defense, so I only knew how to like throw a 1-2 and a left hook, and I was wailing on him and dropping bodies straight up to the top, and then I got tired, so he caught me with one shot, and then he pushed me back on the ropes, and he ducked his head and just kind of like flung one big
Yeah.
right hand, and
Yeah, I didn't mean to
I
do it,
dropped,
really.
and I was like, oh shit. So I got up, and then he's like, "Were
I
you
let him
okay?" I was
recover.
like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Okay, well, kick his ass." So then I finished him, and I stopped him.
Well, I had no stamina. I had no stamina. I'm like McGregor. I got no stamina. But that's why when you were saying like you got tired, I'm always wondering like how could I, my problem always even when I played basketball, I got tired and I always wanted to quit. I was like, how do you get that to keep going? I always that's the thing that amazes me about guys that can go that
You gotta
next
think
gear.
you gotta think even too Mayweather. Like he runs 9 miles a day, and
He don't
when
get
he
tired,
trains,
but-
he doesn't stop. So like he trains for like a consistent 4 hours, and they just time him, and he just goes. There's no like rounds he goes by. So
Yeah.
it's all like that's why his cardio is insane. He doesn't get tired in fights.
It's just doing it, dude.
It's just doing
really
it.
just doing
It's
it.
just
Start
doing
with
it.
your hill sprints.
Right.
Like I do this crazy routine that I had. It's 10 rounds of 45 seconds only. And it's so I start running for like 12, 13 miles per hour. I run, that's the warm up, flat. And then I let the machine run in between me. I start stretching. I bring the machine all the way up to 15%, because nowadays if you say all the way up, there's machines out there with 30. Don't do that. Well, work your way up there to 15%, go to 9 miles an hour, and then I jump on for 45 seconds and off for 30. And that you try to do. And the first 2 or 3 rounds, you're going to laugh at me. You're going to say, Bas is the biggest idiot, because this is pretty easy. But then round number 4 comes. And then number 5. And then your stamina is going, dude, it's such a hard thing, because you can't control the speed. It keeps being 9 miles an hour. And you're going to have to go. Like if you run a hill, a normal hill, you can a little here, you can pace yourself. That's not going to happen with the treadmill, because it keeps on going. And then once you do 10 rounds of that, and that's after a normal workout, you can fight. Trust me, that's it. You're not going to have a problem. It's just about doing it.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes you just think like, what is it? Some people born with it? Is it genetics?
No,
is it
willpower.
drive or willpower?
It's
right?
all in the mind.
Yeah.
Everything, 100%.
I think you're right. The mind is so powerful. It's amazing what you could train yourself to do or not do. Right? I mean, it's. So I mean, you were 14 years old. You were beating up men. You had manpower.
Knocked out the first bully.
Knocked them out.
Knocked him out, 1 shot.
We're in the street.
Street fight, yeah. They surrounded me. Hey, leper! Screaming again.
Leper,
I'm
leper.
on my bike, psycho.
Right.
I said something back this time.
Did you have it in your mind you were gonna knock him? You were gonna?
No, I just said something back. I hear him laugh. I look back, and they start chasing me.
Right.
I go, no, it's not gonna happen. Put my bike on the stand.
Right.
I'm gonna face it now. And they surrounded me on the bikes, in those badass movies when they have the cars
Yeah,
around them.
and the
with
police
lights,
come
the
around,
light
right.
goes on. This was
Like
during
Rebel
the day.
Without
This
a
was the
Cause.
bicycles.
Yeah.
And 12-year-old, 14-year-old kids. They surround me. He comes up. Shaki was his name. Bounces.
Shaki?
Shaki. So you want to go, man? You want to go? You want to hit me? Come on, Rutten. Hit me, leper. I go, okay. 1 shot. That was it. I was amazed. I go like, dude, the guy's out. Nose was flat on his face, though. That was a problem.
What was the
At
punch? A
hospital.
right hand?
Right hand.
Right hand?
And he,
One shot.
1 shot.
Wow.
Out. Nobody was, I guess there was not his real friends, because nobody jumped in. Everybody was freaking out. But then the police came. And of course, that's when my mom and dad pulled me off martial arts again. Because I never told them I was bullied. So
Never
if
told
I
your
think
dad?
if I would have told them,
Yeah.
because they had so much trouble with me already with all the
Other
bandages,
stuff.
all the
Yeah.
other stuff.
What'd your dad do?
It's a bookkeeper.
Was he a big guy?
No, he's he will be 170 pounds.
Tough guy or what?
Or just kind of a mellow guy?
A great athlete, great track and field. Yeah, my brother also. My brother's a
Yeah.
lawyer, but he's
you
actually
told
he's
me
a better
about it.
athlete than I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
My brother is an animal.
He is, huh?
Super smart too.
Just the two of you? The 2 boys?
Just the 2 boys. Yeah.
Yeah. How's the beer in Holland?
The beer's great. I just went back. Oh man, Stella.
Oh,
Jupiler. They
man.
drink now a lot there. And
What
some
is
other
it?
Beers. Jupiler with an
Jupiler.
L. You would
Lech.
think Jupiter,
Yeah.
but it's Jupiler
Oh,
with an L.
Stella's from Holland?
Yeah.
And it's Belgium, actually.
Bad,
Stella
but
Artois, yeah.
close.
I like Stella.
But I
It's
used to
good
live at
stuff.
the border, so we actually would go to Belgium because there we could drink the Stella Artois, And I live 4 miles away from the border.
Right.
I can literally walk it.
So they probably have a lot of great pubs, right? Like Ireland and London.
Oh,
and-
what the thing with the Belgium was, now this is in Holland as well, but in the early days they don't have closing times. So nightclubs you can go
You can go.
24/7 pretty much in the weekend.
Right.
So we would always be in Belgium. We would go home around 8 a.m., go to the beach, and then if
Oh, you
we
got
were
beaches
crazy
there?
enough,
You got beaches over
yeah,
there?
go to the beach. And if we got crazy enough, we were a bunch of fighters, we go to Meng Ho, the gym where Ramon Dekker's trained.
Right.
And Ramon would be there with us many times, completely messed up everybody. And then we would look at each other and say, guys want to spar? And they go, yeah, let's go to the gym, then blast the music, and then just go to town on each other. It was,
Wow.
That's some good times, man.
Even your name, Bas Rutten. That's like...
Yeah, but it sounds
That
cool here.
sounds cool, but I
Yeah.
mean, it sounds like a fighter's name.
Yeah, but in
for some
Holland,
reason.
in Holland you say
What is
Bas Rutten.
Bas Rutten?
It's not a cool name
not
at
as
all.
cool. Nah.
Like they name dogs Bas in Holland.
Yeah.
I know, I'm not kidding. It's like Bas is a very common name in Holland.
It really is,
It
huh?
really is. It comes from
Wow.
Sebastian. It's a Catholic name, Sebastian, but they automatically Bas. So like my
Right.
birth certificate is, but we call him Bas. So
Are you Catholic?
yeah,
Yeah. Religious or just...
very. I'm
You
big into it. Yeah.
Go to church?
I go to church. I try
Yeah.
to do daily mass even. So
Yeah?
yeah. So, but it really changed me. It's 5 years ago or so I came back, and that was for me. You know, the French, the only thing that they recognize different is like I don't use profanity anymore. People go like, yeah, that's weird. I've never heard them use profanity anymore.
You don't use it?
No,
No.
I don't do it. Because I realized also, the more you do it, I think it's kind of I don't know, it's an insecurity thing also. Some
Right.
fighters, when you train with them and they start dropping an F-bomb in every single sentence, they go, don't try to mask your nervousness now. You just, you know,
Right.
I'm okay with it. Somebody drops a big, I don't care about that.
Yeah.
But every sentence 3 times, there's every guy said this to me, you know what, I told him, I go, come on, just speak. You don't need to do that. There's no, it
Yeah.
doesn't make you tough. It doesn't really.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
So, you know.
I mean, it sounds good, you know.
Yeah, but
when
also,
it's
if you do it all the time,
you
then
do
the
it-
big one doesn't hit as hard, right?
right, right, because I'm sure, like, if you ever drop an F-bomb, it would be like a big thing. Like if you,
Yeah.
and like if you know, because you don't use it much. So if you said like, "Hey, don't fuck with me,"
Yeah, then people go like, whoa.
whoa, now this guy is a, you know, he's a bona fide assassin. He's mad. We don't want to get boss mad because some people are like quiet and you go, don't get that guy mad because it could be scary, right?
Well, you
I
know,
mean, you told me a funny story years ago about a football player. He didn't know who you were.
There you go. Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
He didn't know who you were. And then he came over and apologized.
But yeah, no, there's a lot of knuckleheads. But for me, it takes a long time to get a fight with me. I'm building a guy diffusing it, trying to diffuse for at least 5-6 times. If I feel, because most of the time when you do that, then you see the look change on their face.
On your
They go
face.
like, wait a minute, he's not really that tough. Look at him. He's trying to hold him off. And when I recognize that look, I will tell him, I say, I know what you're thinking. You think I'm afraid? I say, I am. I am afraid because I don't want to beat you up and put you in the hospital. Because that's what's going to happen, 100% guarantee. And I don't want to go to the paper or police station, all that BS. That's what I don't want to do. Yes, I'm afraid of that. Now you want to go? And most of the time, that will stop them. And then if they do take it on or take a swing at me, yeah. I always said try to avoid everything.
Have you ever had guys like they want to pick a fight with you?
Yeah, and then but then I'll make sure
But
that
then you-
everybody's going to see it, and the
Right.
people who are seeing it, they're never going to fight with me. I'll guarantee you
But
that.
it'll never happen.
Oh, it's going to be headbutts. It's going to be violent.
Right.
You know, but unfortunately, that fortunately for me, that didn't happen a lot. People always
Good.
think that I had like freaking 100 street fights. It's not.
Yeah.
Just the street fights that I had were always big ones, and that you hear about.
Right.
And it looks like, but I'm really.
I
didn't
just
fight
think
a lot.
sometimes a person has like a certain persona that you might think, like you look at a guy like you, Bas Rutten, you're from Holland, you look like a guy that maybe fought in the street for
Yeah.
whatever reason.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you just have that kind of feel that you like this guy probably fought his way out of the jungle.
And I did a lot
you
because
know.
of the bullies, you know, in the
Right.
beginning.
But
But
now
also,
you had the bully.
but that's the thing, because all the other kids that got bullied, guess who's going to protect them? Those kids. That was me.
That was you.
So in school, I was fighting a lot in school because I was just standing up for the other kids who got bullied.
Right.
Because now I had the power to do something about it.
And you probably became like a guy like, wow.
Oh, yeah.
You became
Right away.
you became sort of a star, you know, out of, you know.
I got finally recognition. People noticed me, you know? If
Right.
you did not
How
notice
did that feel?
till
How did
you're
that feel?
14 years old,
Did you know like
ever.
I had something there, like I could fight?
I
You
was,
must have something must have triggered.
I was
in you as
amazed.
a kid.
Yeah, how
Come on.
fast it went. I was really
Were
amazed.
you
with
really
how
fast?
I guess. I don't even know. I'm just, you know, it just worked. Things worked. And it's also confidence. What happened, you know, once you start dropping adults, and in the dressing room while you're changing, you hear those adults talking about you.
Right.
I overhear them. You know,
Right.
and they would say, like, man, did you see that kid Bas? He dropped check, and everybody's
Yeah.
laughing. Yeah, man,
Yeah.
he hit me with a freaking high kick, you know, and people are laughing.
Sure.
Man, that kid's really good.
Right.
That kid's really good. That kid's really good. And
kid's
you start
good.
listening to that.
You
and
start
that's when I
hearing
got
that.
into the fight with the bully.
With the bully.
And now I was confident.
Right.
Now it's like, adults told me I was good.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to get it
But
now,
then
see?
you took that and made something positive out of it. You
Yeah.
know, you just didn't become a guy that was like a legendary guy in the street. You became a professional.
Yeah.
That's the difference. That you were
it
able
really
to
is.
use that gift that you had, because you know you're born. Everybody's born with something. You know.
100%.
You know,
Yeah,
it's like
you have to figure
how was
out
your
what it
chin?
is.
Did you have a good chin?
Yeah, I've been never knocked out. So I've been hit with a lot. Baseball
Right.
bats, everything. Nunchucks in fights.
Right.
But yeah.
How about fear? How much fear did you have? I mean, were you
as
like to
for a
fight? I mean, like, were you? How much would you say? Like, I'm not saying you're afraid, but I mean, like, there's always. It's not easy to freaking be a fighter, but it's like
I
how
wouldn't-
much.
When I walk in the place, in the arena,
Yeah.
it would creep up a little bit, but then I would go right to the ring or the cage, whatever it was. I would
Right.
just lay in there, but nobody there was there yet, because in Japan, they let you 4 hours before there, so
Right.
nobody's there. You get acclimate a little bit, relax, and then if I would be nervous, you say, hey, Bas, you know what's going to happen.
Right.
You know, there's no way this guy trained harder than you. So stamina's not going to be a problem.
Right.
You know what he can do. It's not going to be a problem. He might slip a few punches in here. You know, you just honestly talk to yourself. The one thing you can't do is lie to yourself because it's not going to work.
Right.
But if you simply break it down, your opponent is right there, dude. If
Yeah.
I just keep my nose pointed at him,
Yeah.
I'm going to be just fine. And I got a referee steps in if something goes wrong.
Right.
Why would I be worried?
Exactly.
And that completely calms me down.
That
if I
will
talk
calm
to
you
like that.
down.
Yeah, and then I literally in the dressing room, but I don't have it.
You didn't have it.
No, I'm already in that zone that I go, whatever. You know,
It's a special zone that fighters are in, huh?
it really
It's
is.
like it always amazing. Whether it's a prize, I'm big a prize fighter fan than, UFC guy. But it's a fight, and it's always like, where are they? Where do they block everybody out? Because it's just like, I'm friends with Paulie Malignaggi, other guys that are fighters, and they always have that fighter mindset.
Yeah.
And you have that. Obviously, you'll have that forever, right? I mean, because
It's cool.
You're a
You-
fighter first and foremost. Even though you're a commentator and you're a teacher,
Yep.
you're still in your heart a fighter, right?
Yeah, no, it is. I notice it with the high stress situations. That it's when you calm down. Yeah, you do
Right.
the opposite. I'm doing these crazy tests like TCCC. Like for how to on combat on first aid on combat missions and all that stuff. Why do you do that, boss? I said just because I want to learn and I can do it. And if I can do it, I want to learn more. I wanted to make sure, this is really the reason I started with it, is that you see in the movies, like when somebody's joking, they make the incision here and they put the thing in there. That thing, by the way, on the battlefield is like 60% can go wrong. So it's, 60% surviving rate. So it's a very hard thing to do. But I wanted to know.
Right.
Because if it presents itself, now if it's a person here in California, there's no way I'm going to help him. And the reason why, and this is really sad what I'm going to say right now, but that's literally what they teach you at the course. Even if you save their life, there's such a high possibility they're going to sue you because you just got them open. Now, but if it's your kid
Right.
and nobody's around, and there's the only way to do it, it's better to know and don't need it than to need it and don't know it, right? So that's what I... That's what I do, and but it's fun. Those things I love to do. Be creative. How to enter houses. How to do, where's the...
It's good to know how to defend yourself. It's good to know how
Always
to fight,
good.
right?
Yep.
And you teach that, right?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a nice gym. Very, like I said, clean.
We should go
nice.
and check it out, Nick.
Yeah,
We
just
should
go by.
and come by. We should go by and check it out.
Tuesdays and
because,
Thursdays, I'm teaching.
he's been into this hot yoga lately.
Yeah, that's really cool too.
Yoga sculpt, so it's
Yeah.
good for the mind.
I've just been
and
having a
the
lot of lower
body.
back trouble, so I'm trying to get out of pain with this bulging disc shit, and it's
But
bad.
he needs to get back into shape.
I mean, I
It's
got to
really-
lose
it's
this
really
gut.
bad.
This is killing me, but maybe that'll help my back, 'Cause have
Yeah,
you ever had
100%, because
have you ever
that's
had lower
supporting
back trouble?
No, thankfully I
Oh
never
my
had.
God, it's terrible.
It's the
boss.
worst because it affects the whole body.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
affects my nerves, my emotion. I'm taking these, shots, these cortisone, and you have side effects, sweating at night.
Oh, it's the worst.
No,
I
it's
get jittery
killing me,
from this
man.
Stuff. I
Yeah,
can't sleep from
I'm-
it. I stopped with the cortisones. I do way
Did you
too
stop
much
with
of
that stuff?
Yeah, because my knees are killing me because I have no cartilage on my knee caps.
Right.
This is the only problem they can't fix right now. There's a few little things that some people tried, but it's a very bad problem in the knee.
Yeah.
And but it's just pain now.
Right.
And I just deal with it. And then once my friend who did it now over a year, and it's still good with him, I'll let him go to 2 years. And if it's still good, I'm going to do the same surgery.
Right.
And then I would try it. But that cortisones I would normally put in if I wanted to just get away from the pain for 2 weeks. Please,
Right.
just shoot them up.
Right, because
But then it started me loopy, and I go,
affecting you in different ways, right? I'm
That's
getting
the
these
worst.
hot flashes.
Yeah.
I wake up, I'm drenched.
Yeah, no, it's
A
not
couple
good.
of years ago, I had 2 epidurals. It was, it
the
was
worst.
terrible.
Yeah.
But I was crying for pain.
Yeah.
What are you laughing about? Shit, these kids today, they laugh. You got a bunch of girls, right? How
I
many
got a
girls?
bunch.
How
3
many
girls.
3 girls.
And a grandson, actually.
Oh my gosh, how old are the girls?
29 in November.
Oh, so that's-
22 and 18.
Wow.
And the grandchild is 3.5.
So imagine, dating Boss's daughters. You got to come and deal with Boss. Got to be, it's got to be intimidating for the boys, right?
The first, it's always fun to see the
Is it
look
just
on their
girls?
faces.
No boys to carry on the tradition?
Yeah, only boys. Yeah, but I'll talk.
Yeah.
I'll waterboard one of them if they get married.
Right.
And make sure that they're going to carry the Rutten last name if a kid's going to come, because otherwise my history dies with this.
I know.
So yeah,
No?
and my youngest daughter already said that she will do it.
She'll do it.
Yeah, she will make sure that her husband is going to keep the Rutten last name. So I said
With the boy.
With the boy, yeah.
Yeah, because you got to have some legacy to carry
That's
that.
it.
You know, like I gave him, I'm a cheap version of my dad. He's even a cheaper version. So I said, when I'm not around, you make another Nick Turturro so we can keep that thing going.
The lineage.
Yeah, I believe
need to keep going.
You got to keep going.
It would be the fourth, my son.
Yeah, like my brother didn't
Nice.
do it. He's got names, Spanish names, and what I'm
Jesus. I was just
Amadeo,
watching
Diego, my brother John. And I'm like, you know, we need another John Turturro just to carry that
8-year-olds,
lineage.
dude.
Yeah, 8-year-olds. Oh, you like the Jesus? He's actually made a movie about the Jesus, so that's coming out finally.
Yeah?
Well, it was an old French movie that he did a remake of called Going Places with Gerard Depardieu, and he played the Jesus. He got the rights to play the Jesus in this movie
Like that
called-
Jesus, like from...
Yes, Jesus Quintana, that character.
Oh, that
so,
is
but what happened is they didn't get the movie released, and I kept telling them, change the title. No one remembers that movie. You know, everybody
yeah.
knows Jesus. They love it.
Yeah.
You know, 8-year-olds, whatever. And so now, finally, a couple of years, they got a distributor, and they're calling it the Jesus Rolls. So it's a whole movie that, you know, his character gets out of prison.
Jesus goes, you said it, man.
You said it, man. Nobody fucks with the Jesus. So, you know, he actually did that character in a play at the Public Theater called La Puta Vida. It was a wild play, this playwright that passed away, Spanish guy. And the Coen brothers saw him play like this pedophile guy, degenerate guy on stage.
Yeah,
I saw the
terrorist.
play. Yeah. So they took the idea of this guy that he played in the Nujinski choked his chicken or whatever the name of that play was, and they created that Jesus because he was only in a couple of scenes.
Yeah.
But you would have thought like 3 scenes. You would have thought like he was the star of the movie.
Yeah, no, that's...
Because he was unbelievable. He's a genius guy,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Very intense guy. He's hard on me a lot, but
Quiz show, right? Or was
quiz
it?
show,
That was-
great,
he was so
great,
great in that
brilliant,
also. Oh.
just brilliant. I mean, he's so good. You know, I worked with him in Rome on this miniseries last year, a year ago, and it was a biblical piece called "The Name of the Rose," all about the church and you know how crooked, how bad they were, and people got burned. And I played a Spanish character.
Play
with
the
a,
Filipino.
not a Filipino. But he had dialogue, Bas. It was just incredible, so hard. I mean, this book, Umberto Eco wrote, The Name of the Rose, and I was like, man, how is he saying this with an English accent? I was having a hard time saying a few lines with a Spanish accent. I was having I was having meltdowns. I was like, oh my God, I just don't want to screw up here. You know, I don't want to make a fool. All these great actors are here. You're like, you know, when you're around that kind of different element of acting, it's different than Hollywood. So you just want to kind of, you know, be, you know, like that you belong, you know.
Yeah.
And I'd said to him, I said, how are you remembering this, huh? And
Yeah,
he
but
goes,
that's-
it's in my body.
Yeah.
Nick, it's in my body. And I said, oh, okay. In other words, like, it's not in my head. He's worked on it so long. He goes, well, I work on things for years.
But they have
for
their
years.
memories are
Yeah, but I mean,
crazy. It's like Holt, you know, they read a script
but
2
he
or 3
reads,
times,
he
got it,
reads, and
and
he's,
it's
and
like-
I said, how did you get so smart? He goes,
Yeah.
I read.
Yep.
I read, Nick.
Yep.
And I'm like, I always was so ADD. It's a miracle that I did anything but my life because I had some talent, but I was able to focus at certain times in my life. Now I'm like, I can't remember what, from moment to moment, where's my keys? Where's my glasses? I'm all over the place because as you get older, you like deteriorate.
Yeah.
And you bring up a good buddy of ours, Holt McCallany, good friend of ours, good friend of mine, a good friend of Boss's, and I go way back with Holt. What a great guy. What a great guy, huh?
If you didn't see the show Mindhunter on Netflix,
Yes.
he plays Bill Stench, one of the 2 leads, and
I just love the
dude,
guy.
it's a freaking show, and he as a person, I always say this: there's no guy who doesn't like Holt.
I love the guy.
Because he's a good-looking guy, he's successful.
handsome.
But normally there will be guys who are jealous of a guy like that. But once you know this, nobody is jealous. Everybody loves the
why?
guy.
Because he's got a good soul.
Yeah,
he's got a good
100%.
heart. You know what I mean? And he's just a guy that when you meet him, you get to know him. How are you?
Hey, boss, it's Holt. How you doing, man?
It's Holt. Fantastic. Oh my God. He makes you feel like he's a guy that makes you feel good about yourself.
Yep.
You know? Like I had an uncle like that. You know, my Uncle Dominic. If you talk to him, he made you feel like $1 million. You are tremendous. You are beautiful. Look at you. What's going on in your life? You know, and you go, wow, I love the way this guy makes me feel. And we did these plays like 25, 30 years ago when I first started acting called Conversations with the Mob. And we did it at the bottom of a restaurant called the Trocadero Cafe. And Holt, I met him through this guy, Sam Cass, who was kind of a weird writer, and Ray Boom Boom Mancini and me. And I didn't know this guy. We were rehearsing at his health club with old men walking around with the balls hanging out. But Holt paid for it. And then we made a movie together called The Search for One-Eyed Jimmy.
Dude.
Which I know you love, with our own money. And if you re-release that movie today, it was kind of a movie that's an underground, really underground.
Well, your brother plays a Disco
And my brother
Bean.
plays
He
Disco
It's
Bean.
a little bit, kind of a crazy character.
Yeah.
Like Jesus.
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm doing this TV show with Holt in
That's
Canada.
what we were talking about.
And it was in '99, and I was be there for like 8 or 9 months. I was a stunt choreographer.
What was the name of the show, boss?
What was it again? I will look at while I'm
Doesn't
talking.
matter. 99.
So, yeah,
Okay.
in '99, a TV show. So Joe Silver show. So I was there. What did I want to?
That's where you met him?
That's where I met him the first time. Oh yeah. So we were driving around, and I already saw the movie Search for One-Eyed Jimmy, but I didn't put one and one together.
How did you see it, by the way?
A friend of mine, Avi Rubin. He was the owner of the Beverly Hills Jiu-Jitsu Club. He said, "You got to watch this movie." We watched it. I said, "Hilarious." I thought it was funny. So I'm driving with Holt, and we're in Canada, in Vancouver, and suddenly I go, you want to see a funny movie, dude? And he goes, "Yeah." I said, "Watch the movie Search for One-Eyed Jimmy." And he goes like, "What did you say?" I go, "The Search for One-Eyed Jimmy."
You got to see this movie.
And he goes, "Okay, one
Freaking
moment."
wild. We shot it in Red Hook, like gunshots every other block, with our own money.
Yeah.
With our own freaking money. Holt was like, "I'll put in 10." I said, "I'll put 10." And Ray put like 40. We had Sam Jackson. We had John Turturro. We had Sam Rockwell.
One of my favorite guys.
Steve Buscemi. We had all these, an 8-cent movie.
This is Sister Soprano.
My cousin was in it. Aida. Also Tony Sirico, who played Paulie Walnuts because Frank Vincent was away. That's another story.
Ray Boom Boom Mancini.
Ann Mira.
It was crazy.
Jennifer Beals. So we made it for $80,000. And we were just out there winging it. Me, Holt, and Boom Boom. And then when the movie came out, or didn't come out, he saw a screening of it. I was a doorman at Central Park South, and he had a broken leg. He came by to tell me, "Nicholas, do you believe I saw a screening of this movie without them telling me?" He was upset, you know, and he didn't like what they did to his performance. And I was like, "Holt, don't worry about it. We'll fix it. We'll fix it,
It was crazy because he started
God.
looking at me and says, "What?" I says, I'm the lead in that movie, he says to me. When I tell, and I look at him, "Oh, you're the French guy!" Because he was speaking French.
Well, he
in
was the
movie.
filmmaker.
Yeah. It was so funny. And then I realized, oh my God. So I had no clue. And still, if you have the chance to see it somewhere on the dark web, whatever you can.
Well, actually, you can order it now on Blu-ray. We shot it on 16 millimeter. It was called The Search for One-Eyed Jimmy. And the guy shooting the movie had one eye, the DP. So the first day I said, where's the DP? And he was like, "That guy." He goes, "How you doing?" He like talked out of his mouth. I said, "Holy shit. The Search for One-Eyed Jimmy with a guy with one eye." I was like, I hope the movie's going to be in focus. You know what I mean? I was like, so we did a great fight scene in the movie with me, Ray, who's a world champion, and Holt, and Mike Baluco. It's a great scene where he breaks my glasses, and I actually like choreographed it because Ray was like hesitant. I said, "Ray, let's make it messy. Let's make it look like a funny fight, It was really funny. I was like, "Yo, you broke my specs." It was a funny scene where I get upset at Ray. I was like, because my character was inspired by like Hector Macho Camacho, who tortured Ray. So I used that like in my psyche, like Ray never knew that. I used it as like, that was my inspiration to like screw with Ray Mancini because I kept robbing his car.
Yeah.
And he was like, and I took Holt's car and he was like, "Junior, that's don't take it." I go, "Okay, no problem. You drive." And I was like, that's a wild little movie. And you told me, that's right, when we were on a balcony, were we in Vegas?
Well, maybe we were doing the movie in Boston, right? Here comes the
Maybe
boom.
Boston. We were having a cigar, because we've gotten to know Bas a little bit through Kevin James. And like I said, we did this show called Dusty Peacock. Very
that was so funny too, yeah.
Very funny show. It was for Sony Crackle, and my boss was very funny. And at that time, I didn't even know he was a legend. It was kind of embarrassing. I was like, "You know who this guy is?" I go, What do I know? I didn't know anything about the UFC. I didn't know anything about Ultimate Fighting. I just said he's funny. I love that accent. You know.
Yeah, now he's into the UFC.
Now I'm
so-
into the UFC.
Now he's into the UFC.
Now
so
I've
he's
become a
been-
fan.
So he's been following it since like
Yeah, I've become a
2015-ish.
fan. I don't know as much about that as boxing. I feel I'm more of a boxing fan, but he's been educating me. I mean, are you a big fan of the UFC?
Yeah, I'm just mixed martial arts in general.
What do you think
Yeah.
of these upcoming fights? There's a couple good ones. There's Diaz, Pettis. There's the Stipe, DC, Adesanya, Whitaker, and then the Khabib Poiriers. They're all good fights.
Diaz, first one is against Pettis.
Diaz, Pettis at
Yeah. What do you think of
170.
that one, Bas?
I think here we go. There we have the diesel and the explosive guy.
Yeah.
So if this is going to be decided between three rounds, I think Pettis takes it. If it goes to the championship, is it 5 rounds or not? No,
No,
maybe
it's just
not.
3-round fight.
Okay, you see?
It should be a 5-round fight.
Wow,
though.
yeah, because then it's going to be a very competitive fight.
Yeah,
yeah,
so
because Pettis now his stamina. He had some stamina problems in the beginning, but it got much better with him right now.
Talented guy, huh?
I thought he was never going to lose his title.
And he just knocked out Wonder Boy too. So
Crazy.
that's big.
So I had to pick a winner. Who do you got with that one?
Oh,
That's a
man,
tough one, huh?
that's
I
a
do
real-
like Nate Diaz.
I love the Diaz brothers, man. They're so real. You know,
I know. That's
whatever
what I
they
like
say,
about them.
I love that. Yeah.
That's what I like about them. They're downright real, right?
Yeah. Pettis should be able to win this fight.
Yeah, decision probably.
Yeah, decision. It's
Yeah.
very hard to stop
Yeah.
these guys.
So DC, Stipe. Who do you choose?
Oh, that's a hard one too, because I like both these guys. That's what the other ones do. Once you become these, you know these guys, it's a hard one.
It's hard to root
again,
for them, right? How does Bas Rutten root for like one
Yeah.
guy or the other, right?
It's very
because
hard.
you're a fighter and you like both guys.
I like both. I like whoever wins. For me, it's because I know the game. It's like you can have an off day, maybe not. The other one's just better. It's
Right.
so-
But sometimes a guy is a bad matchup for a guy.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, he can't solve that guy.
Yeah, that happens
That
also.
does happen,
Yeah,
right?
that does happen a lot. But I think this one, that's not that case. Not with DC and GDS. No, Stipe. Because Stipe is an animal, a lot of heart, comes forward also. I think Cormier, if his fighting style, if he constantly keeps coming forward and smothers him, be on him, he might do it again. But it's so hard to...
You never know.
No, you really, with those kind of fights, you really don't know. Because Stipe is such an animal. I mean, he comes back from fights when he gets completely rocked. And then just, the guy has so much heart.
Yeah.
And you know what a good guy, blue collar, freaking firefighter,
Right,
baseball
right.
player. What's not to love? But then you DC, and to everything what happened to DC in his life, and and the perseverance, and you see, so that's why I want to root for both guys.
It's exciting, huh?
Yeah,
It
just
is exciting.
They'll figure it out on that day.
Now, what about in Abu Dhabi with Poirier? Does he have any chance against Khabib, you think?
Oh, so just solely submissions? Yeah. I think he does. I think Poirier is an animal on the ground as well.
He is, right?
The thing is with Khabib is constant pressure. Here we go again. Khabib is one of those guys. He could be like an in-between guy between the explosiveness, the fast twitch fibers and slow twitch. I think he's like a hybrid of it almost, because he still has power,
right.
and he can keep going. Poirier is definitely a fast twitch fiber, so he needs loads of stamina in order to
sustain.
carry through it. And I don't know what are the rounds. Do you know that? Is it?
5.
That'll be 5.
It's a championship fight.
Yeah.
But is it only submissions?
No, it's MMA.
Oh, I thought you said Abu Dhabi. I thought they were going to
No,
go
it's in Abu
submission.
Dhabi.
Oh, it's in Abu Dhabi.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, dude.
They're fighting at 55 for the belt.
McGregor may be there too. I don't know what's going to go on.
Yeah, according to Dana, he said he would allow Conor to come to the fight.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that would be great.
Are you a big McGregor fan?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's exciting.
He's
right?
exciting.
I-
and when you meet him
mean,
also, he's not
charismatic,
like he's,
right?
Plus, he's not the guy that people think he is.
He's not
such
that
a
guy,
good guy.
right?
Yeah, no. I like him. And people go, oh, you smashed the telephone. I go, do you have any idea what people do, fans do? To me already. To him, he has it 1,000 times more than I have. Like, hey, man, right in the face, and they keep going to say, sorry, man, can you just make the picture? Let's make the picture. No, but I want to. And if that keeps going for 5 minutes while you're in a hurry, yeah, you can get angry and snap the thing and just throw it on the ground, get it over.
Right.
But what we only see is when they grab the phone and throw it on the ground. We don't know what happened before. So, and knowing him and having interviewed him, he was at my gym a couple of months ago to train. I truly, but I met him when he was just starting, and
He was a pretty
interviewed
humble
him.
kid, wasn't he?
So, yes, but he still is. It's really an act. He's a good dude. I like him.
And
we
you,
all
and you
make
understand the
mistakes.
show. You understand. I mean, he's a star. I mean, come on. I don't care if you're a fan. He made me start watching this shit.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
Now look at the Mayweather fight. How good was that? You know, if he would have had 100% stamina, he would have gone 10 rounds against Mayweather.
That's not bad for a guy that's an amateur.
Who never fought a pro boxer. I was
Crazy.
pretty impressed with that.
You were, right?
So no, I was. The first 3 rounds, and I know,
Mayweather.
it takes always the time, but still. Everybody was telling me before, all the pro boxers, he's not going to be able to land a punch. I say, I'll take that bet, 100 grand. I'll take that bet immediately. For sure, he's going to get hit.
Did you bet?
No, because of course nobody wants to take the bet. You know, I'll do for $1,000.
Yeah.
Not be able to hit him. Come on, what? Like we don't know how to punch. Come on, guys, let's
We were there.
wake up
No,
a little
he
bit.
landed. He
You know,
landed.
so he landed good shots.
Yeah.
You know, he just got to start running out of
So
gas.
what do you
and
think he should do? Should he take the fight and then try to get that rematch? If you were him, what would you do?
If I was him, I would have, when he stepped away from MMA, I would have said, you did really great in boxing, man. Fight Paulie Malignaggi. Now, you know, Lobov did,
With
and
Paulie?
this go.
Yeah, yeah.
But before that, because they had some fire going on, that would have
Right.
been a great promotion.
Oh, I thought it would have been great.
And that would be a big fight.
Right.
It's a good champion, Malignaggi.
Oh, yeah, Paulie's a
powerful
great
guy,
fighter.
but not
Good buddy of mine.
You know, but not a knockout power
Right,
guy.
right.
But he all circles around you. you know?
Paulie wanted it. He wanted it.
Oh, that would have been a great fight, and that, he could have done it well in that fight as well. That could have gone the distance, both of them. You see what I mean? So I think that.
I know.
But you know what? I don't know what he gets from the proper 12 and all that stuff. But I hear that
Money.
I would, yeah, but I would say at least 10%. I would think.
Oh, it's big, boss.
But if that's even if it's 10%, the yearly thing was 1.2 billion or something.
It already grossed over $1 billion.
It's insane,
You
boss.
see what I mean?
Yeah.
So
He
I
doesn't-
mean, he's
he-
doing really good.
He doesn't really
He's
need to
doing
fight.
I love
really
it.
good.
I love it. He deserves it also.
Have you had the proper 12?
No, I haven't yet.
not
I
bad.
had yeah,
Pretty good.
It's not bad.
It's good with a co.
He's like, never mind the Jameson brothers.
we religiously watch his press conferences with Khabib.
It's just like
Oh,
watching a
it's
movie.
it's
I can't get
hilarious.
enough
Yeah.
of how entertaining he is. I know he crosses the line a little bit.
He did. And
He
Habib
did with the-
Yeah, he did with the
with
what you start religion
with the
and
religion
with the
stuff.
Parmesan.
I think there's a point where you should just say,
Yeah.
somebody should grab him and say, hey, listen, Conor,
Let's
the
stay
hatred
away
is
from
good.
family.
Let's just stay away from certain things.
Like
Yeah.
he's funny when he says that during the Eddie Alvarez stuff when he goes, you know, Edward, I have nothing against him. But then he's like, what are you gonna do? And like
Yeah.
he starts talking, and
Right.
we're like, that's great.
Yeah.
And then you say stuff about his, like it's just funny. But once
Yeah.
you get into the religion
When he
stuff,
tries
it's
to
too
give him a
much.
drink, he says, it's your birthday. Come on, have a drink. I don't drink. It's very funny.
Showing the bus, kids.
Hey, come on.
Showing the bus.
Showing on the bus. I showed you my hands. You know, you can't not laugh. You
No, but
can't
also
not-
everything is different with him. Like he does his speeches, it's not rehearsed. No. It's like I think he grabs like bullet points in his head, like
And he just
8, and
goes, right?
and he just makes a whole story. Because everything you listen to with me, if I have something to say about a certain thing, well, that news outlet and that, they're going to get the same story.
Right.
You know, but not with McGregor. His mind works in
Different
crazy ways. I
Yeah.
love that stuff.
But deep down, you feel like he's a good kid.
He is, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good to know. Because I know you told me that once before about him.
You like Adesanya, the Israel, the guy's fighting Whitaker.
yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a savage.
Yeah.
So how did you get into acting? Because now, you know, Bas has done a lot of acting. He's been in a bunch of movies with Kevin James. He's done a lot of television with Holt McCallany. I've worked with him. So it's like you enjoy acting, right? You like
I love it.
You
I
like
love it. Always loved. I always played these little things. Oh, the shows that we did in Holland already. You know, the comedy, martial arts shows.
Right.
I always enjoyed entertaining.
Yeah, and you're good on camera. You're not.
I love
you know,
it. You know, it's hard work. I think people don't have no clue what goes into it.
Right. Did
You
you
know,
like
people-
doing the live sitcom in Long Island?
I did. That was such a bummer when they canceled the show because
Yeah.
I was going to be a serious regular that
Yeah.
season, the next season, and but thankfully I did like 22 episodes, so that was
Yeah.
nice. It was an extra little thing that I have under my belt now.
Right.
And I loved it. The schedule of it,
It's
sitcom
great.
is easy.
I know. I did one. It's just great.
I mean, every time the script comes in, like on Saturday, you're in bed reading it and you're dying laughing, right?
Oh, it's wonderful.
Because with sitcoms, you have no clue. almost every line is a joke.
Right.
But once you see that on TV, you don't catch up on it. That's why sitcoms always, you can rewatch them and you discover new comedy. Because if I read it, I go, everything is funny.
Right.
But you just, that's the mind works different. That was a great time.
It's I mean the half hour multicam. What a life. What a schedule. I came close to having 2 pilots of my own, almost picked up years ago. And it would have been just a dream. I mean, I'm still considering if I get another chance or a shot, but it's great. You get a table read on Monday, a light rehearsal Tuesday, start blocking it right on Wednesday.
It's crazy.
And then before you know it, Thursday or Friday, you do the tape, and the show is ready, and it's exciting.
And then it's fun, if you do in front of a live audience also. That's kind of cool,
I think that's great, isn't that?
Yeah, I was really cool. Because when I came up, nobody knew who I was. But then a few things happened during the show, and, funny things. And the standing ovation at the end, then you can see what you can do in half an hour only.
Right.
And then suddenly you have the whole audience start rooting for you.
And they're rooting for you.
Oh, it was so fun. It was a good time.
It's exciting, man. It's exciting when you have real laughter. I hate when they put. I did a pilot one year that years ago with great laughter, and then they started putting laugh track because they thought some of the people were laughing too loud, and I said, "What are you out of your mind?" That's what when you watch King of Queens, you could hear the laughter.
Yeah, and it's real laughter.
And someone laughs, I go, ha! A few people, and you go, that's funny. Because that one person that laughed gives like the other audience to go, oh,
Yeah, no, it is.
Instead of that other, I hate that crap, that laughter track.
Yeah. Dead people's laughing, right? That's what Andy Kaufman said.
It's awful.
Yeah.
But it's a great thing that you have in your book. What do you want to promote? What do you got going on? Anything right now exciting in Boss's life?
The O2 trainer, my long training device. I always tell people it takes you under 3 minutes a day.
Right.
And right now, and I can medically not say this, but we have a 100% success rate with asthma. So I cured my asthma with it. My friend in Holland, within 8 days, he's selling them now in Holland for Europe because he was freaking out. All the reviews I'm reading for the people, it's either 90% less their inhaler or absolutely not anymore. I don't carry inhaler with me for the last 7 years since I started training with the prototype. And you have to understand that for every single fight I had to use an inhaler. I always needed an inhaler because if I would sneeze violently, like 2 or 3 times, your lungs would close. It's called exercise-induced or whatever you call that with a sneeze. So if you take a sprint for 100 yards, you stop. Right. 2 minutes later, lungs close. And if you don't have your inhaler on you, that's a problem because now you don't have air.
Right.
So for me to not have that, not even bring it on when I travel overseas, that's a big step. You never have that bulky thing in your pants anymore. That was huge for me. And if it does that for asthma patients, you can only imagine what it does for athletes and for everybody else. I mean, Usain Bolt, I found out, he's doing it with the other gold medalist. I'm in contact with his scientist, Chet Masias, who is a very sought-out trainer, freaking out there, higher IQ than Einstein had. And he has like already 18 published medical journals about the O2 trainer. So a published medical journal, I'll explain this to people, means it's 100% proven what it does. This is not clinically tested, because if you buy a product that says clinically tested, I say don't buy it. Because if the result of that test would have said it was good, it would say clinically proven. Clinically tested is just a way to get to some unassuming people at home, they hear the word clinically, oh, it's clinically tested. Yeah, but what was the result of the test? And right? They all do that.
It's good.
But this is clinically proven since it's a published medical journal. That's what published medical journal. And you can find them on publishedmedicaljournals.org, whatever it is. That's where you can find all these tests. So that's a great thing for me. I'm really focusing on that right now. I'm working with people for FDA also because for the asthma, and especially because I was an asthma patient. And all the cortisones that I took in my life, I think they stopped my career earlier. I'm happy that it happened, though, because otherwise I would have kept on fighting. But all the tendonitis that I developed is all from the cortisones. So if I can take cortisones away from people and they just do this thing 3.5 minutes a day,
right,
and your asthma is gone. Once your asthma is gone, you do it 4 times a week. That will be enough as well. So you don't have to do it constantly every day. Now, if you're a fighter, I would do 2 times a day for 6 weeks.
Right.
And then from that moment, use it 1 time a day. It will take care of all the lactic acid in your core. And people go like, what is that going to do? That's going to give you unlimited stamina.
Right.
That's because now all the muscles stay relaxed. Because once you start flexing, what happens? Muscles start pumping up, right? Jesus. And once they pump up, the core also pump up to the front, also to the back. And behind the core are your lungs. And now suddenly that space that normally is this big gets smaller because the muscles are getting pumped, so you can't breathe completely fill the lungs anymore. This will take care of that. That's a crazy claim to make, and we have the published medical journals to prove that.
So, how do I get rid of this belly, boss? What do you think?
You do the boss with the mixed martial arts workout, and this is not a plug. You just Google it and try to find one bad review. I'm good. And if you, with boxing combinations, I'll send you one. You put it in your computer, download it in your phone. It's an audio, me giving you boxing combinations really fast.
Really?
And you just do what I say.
How often do I have to come to the gym?
I would just do it 4 times a week. You can do this in your bedroom. I do this on the road in a hotel room. Push the bed to the side. And I start with the boxing. But then if you take the mixed martial arts one, which would be really good for you to use, because the only
What about my
difference...
back? What about my back? What do I do about my back?
Yeah, that's a problem. You're gonna, But, if you start slow, start slow.
I start slow.
It's all baby steps, dude. It's like
See?
people...
Baby steps.
There's people who have they're 300 pounds, and then suddenly they run marathons. And I go, dude, how did that happen? He goes, I was just walking around the block, and I just walked two blocks, and I walked back. It says 2 blocks came 4, 8, 10. Suddenly I started walking 5 miles. Then I start jogging light. Then I start doing this light. It's all baby steps. Because if you go too hard, you get injured.
Right.
Steers you
That's
away
my
from
problem.
it. Don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
But he probably doesn't have. He has commitment issues. Like he doesn't like to commit to things.
Yeah, see, that's the thing with me. Like I said, what I say to myself, I am going to do. Because
Right.
if I don't, I can look at myself in the mirror when I'm brushing my teeth. I see a failure if I do that.
But you know what? I'm at an age now where I'm like kind of hitting a wall, and I'm like, I have to do something. I can't. I got to feel better about myself. I just feel better.
You got a pool?
No, I used to have one. Now we
But
don't
you
have
have
one.
access to pool.
I mean,
You
I
have
can,
access
I
to
can,
pool.
I can get to a pool.
Go Bas Rutten's pool workout. YouTube that. That's literally what I do. In 40 minutes, I work 12 different exercises, 20 repetitions, 4 times each.
Really?
There's no way you can do this in the gym. It's going to take you an hour and a half at least.
You can do this in the pool?
In the pool with those resistance gloves. And you can do all these crazy exercises. The way you hold your hands are different muscle groups. And I have this whole routine that I do. I have it on there. And then you can see what it is. And you're going to feel so great. Coming out of the pool, out of the water, you can pump. The water is cooling you down. So you can really push the whole time. Plus, with resistance, the faster you go, the more resistance, right?
Yeah.
So at the end, when you get tired, you just go slower. But you're still working the muscles.
But you're still working the muscles.
And you start just with 1 set. Don't do the 4 sets. Just one
Yeah.
light set.
I can't just jump into hot yoga
No,
like you.
no,
and,
no, don't do it.
I'm
You're
in
right.
traction. I'm like, I'm a guy that hasn't taken care of his body.
Yeah.
And now I'm paying the price. That's why I got to maybe lean on a guy like Bas.
Just
maybe just
lean
to steer
on
me
me.
right.
When you're loving.
Bas got to play got to be a good heavy in a mob movie. But he doesn't speak much. Like he's a guy from Holland. I want to use him like as a mob guy one day. But like an enforcer, couple of words. And like, well, why does he have an accent? It could be a funny angle.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever kissed you as like a heavy that way. I think.
Heavy. Yeah, I've been at a
good mob
Sinners
guy.
of
Would be,
Saints.
hey, couldn't you see Bas as a mob guy? I could. He's, man, where'd you get this guy in Brooklyn? How'd he wind up in Brooklyn?
Can't get him over the boat from Holland?
Yeah, from a
With
boat.
the boat.
He came off the boat. Great show, brother.
Hey, thank you,
Thanks
bro.
for doing it.
Yeah, very welcome.
Yeah, man, he
Thanks
could
for both.
talk. Bas Rutten could talk.
Oh, yeah, I don't shut up. That's the thing
No,
with me.
fantastic.